doon yung mga recordings ng classes. Yung nung class natin nung Tuesday. And then I will be uploading yung class natin for today for this subject. And then later I will be posting sa Teams yung ating link for the YouTube. So you may view the recording there. And then for future student account po na Autodesk download. Okay, good. Sige, good to. Ngayon, ang concern ko lang kasi, although you have account, do you all have access sa computer, whether it's personal or may pwedeng magamit sa school? Now, kung hindi naman kayo magkakaroon ng problem with using the software kahit saan kayo gumawa, so wala akong problema doon kasi tawag dito, hindi not sure if the subject is laboratory, pero kasi walang naka-dedicate na computer for us to use for this subject. Pero yun, we'll see. Pero initially kasi, when you're dealing with structural detailing and any other detailing na may kinalaman sa engineering, whether kahit anong discipline siya, pati architecture, actually. Yan. We initially before we use manual, so yung manual drawing and then after that dino-drawing na yung detail sa AutoCAD. Yun yung actually current trend for now, although meron na rin gumagamit ng naka-detail through Revit. So yung Revit yung ginagamit nila, tapos parang pinoproduce lang nila yung tsura ng detail sa plan through Revit. Pero yun, let's see. Tingnan ko lang kung ano yung magiging sagot nyo dito sa poll later. Pakisagot na lang, class. Wala pa kasing nag-vote. Pero yun. Yun. Tsaka natin pag-usapan. Pero anyway, kumbaga bago natin pag-usapan yun. So, let's discuss first what is in the syllabus para we are on the same page. BIM pa. Wait lang. Structural detailing. Okay. So for the structural detailing, let's discuss or let's read first the course outline or sorry, the course description. So by reading the course description, you would be able to identify what's the expected topics or what is the expected for us dito sa subject na to. So sabi dito, this course is an introduction of the detailed drawings of the cross-section, connection, and different elevation profiles of structural members that are commonly used in construction. It is also designed to help the learner to understand the stability, strength, and stiffness of the structure that will be used in the construction making. So last time, di ba, naalala niyo sa BIM, dun sa class natin, I asked you, I think I asked your confirmation since you are under a diploma course for the civil engineering technology, ladderized kayo, di ba? So later on, you would become an engineer. So the approach that I will be teaching you is hindi lang pang CET, okay? Doon sa course nyo, pero more on how are we going to deal with that in thinking of a civil engineer. Kasi sa industry, and then hindi rin naman kumbaga hindi rin naman lahat ng ladderized program tumutuloy talaga sila sa civil kasi mas pinipili ng student na mag-work. So when you graduate sa current course nyo ngayon or sa current track, so I think one of the job na pwede nyo maging trabaho na I suppose it was already been discussed with you was maging drafter or maging modeler. Okay? Now, if you're a drafter or modeler, normally, ito yung experience ko sa industry. Meron kasi kaming mga nagiging drafter na ang natapos pa lang nila is yung CET. Yung iba talagang hindi tumutuloy, yung iba tumutuloy. I think there's another university with CET. I think it's TUP, yung technological university. So, meron kaming naging drafter doon. Yung isa, hindi na talaga siya tumuloy sa work kasi kailangan niya magtrabaho. And then on the other hand naman, yung isa naman is tumuloy siyang tumuloy siyang tapusin yung civil engineering niya. So, ngayon, civil engineer na siya. So, what I'm trying to say is that the thinking kasi nung pagka you are a modeler and a drafter versus ikaw na yung mismong designer. Take note that the modeler is different from designer. Designer should know how to model and draft. And then for the modeler and drafter, hindi naman expected na marunong sila mag-design. Pero maganda kung marunong sila mag-design. So what I'm trying to say here is that iba yung thinking kasi kapag hindi ka pa nakakakuha ng civil engineering. Now, the approach that I will be teaching is that yung point of view ng engineer na marunong din mag-detail so that when you applied for a job soon, then sabihin natin as a drafter or as a modeler temporarily habang tinatapos nyo kunwari yung course nyo yun na civil engineering, so you would be able to ask or you would wonder later na kumbaga hindi lang kayo susunod doon sa ipapagawa sa inyo na kailangan ganito. Kailangan yung magiging thinking nyo, is it constructable? Is it workable? Is it logical? So, ganun dapat mag-isip. So, ang thinking na ituturo ko sa inyo is iisipin nyo kung kayo yung nasa sitwasyon nung construction engineer or nung foreman na magbabasa ng plan, maiintindihan ko ba ng maayos to? More on the detailing the connectivity. Because yung sa second line, it is also designed to help the learner to understand stability and stiffness that is used in construction making. Yan yung pinaka-importante kasi although we prepare plans, the execution of the plan solely depends on what is in the detail. Kapag hindi malinaw yung nasa detalye, hindi maiintindihan niya nung nasa site kung paano ba nila kakabit. And then with that, it comes with the methodology sa site kung paano nila gagawin. So it comes hand in hand, yun nga, kapag again, hindi malinaw yung detail. So it would be hard again for the construction people to work on the plan na pinrovide ng design team, including the drafter or modeler. Okay? So for week 1, ito tapos na tayo dito, but I will be jumping na lang dito directly sa discussion of the course syllabus, goal and expectation, and then discussion of course requirement. Side by side. Ayan, tingnan nga natin tong content na to. Okay. So for week 2, so introduction to course. So we will be having later a brief introduction with the course, introduction to structural analysis, drafting and drawing requirements, types of equipment, etc. Equipment meaning ano yung mga ginagamit natin kasi under this ILO, the intended learning outcome. Ayan ko muna to. Ayan, introduction. So under the intended learning outcome, so we will define later the structural design analysis and its importance sa construction. Kasi if you're a drafter or modeler soon, you should know also somehow yung aspetong ito, kung paano ba siya napo-progress, not necessarily on how it was being done. Deeper na kailangan pati kung paano din-design ni engineer. Well, maganda kung marunong kayo. Pero for now kasi kung hindi pa siya part ng curriculum nyo, so kung hindi pa kayo magde-design dahil nga pang CE, so okay lang. Pero ang importante doon is that naiintindihan nyo kung ano yung ginagawa ng mga engineer para later on, yun, it would be easier for you to ask. It would be easier for you to understand kung ano yung kailangan gawin sa isang project. And then you identify the key steps involved in the structural design analysis. And then yun, understand the basic principles of drafting and drawing. I think ito, alam nyo na to eh. Pero we will just have a very brief, brief review with this. And then use appropriate drafting and drawing equipment and software. So ito, alam ko, kabisado nyo na rin to. Pero yun, babalikan lang natin. And then drafting and drawing standards and conventions. So yun, we will be discussing this one also later. And then eto siya, so meron tayong syllabus for that. By the way, I will be also uploading this module. So I will be uploading this module from the department sa Teams. Now, for lesson 2, under week 4, ayan, so introduction to detailing. So pag-uusapan na natin dyan yung projection, detailing aids, dimensioning, symbols and patterns. Ayan. And then understand the principles of detail in technical drawing, etc. So it's also under this introduction to detailing. Ito, pen drawings. Then still reinforcement. Actually, isa sa importanteng malaman natin for the detailing is the reinforcements. Kasi yung iba, hindi nila alam paano i-present yung bakal doon sa ating detail. So with that, so part niyan is yung bars, spacing, lengths, and splicing, etc. Steel bar sizes, and then some computations. And then with that, so we should identify sa plan yung different types of steel reinforcement bar used in construction, and then understand the principle of steel bar spacing, lengths, and splicing. Tapos yan, sabi nito, calculate the required amount of steel reinforcement for various structural elements. Then next with that is structural steel connection. Ito, with structural steel, ang pinag-usapan na natin dito, hindi na mga rebar. Ang pinag-usapan natin dito, yung mga wide flanges, angle bar na ginagamitan ng mga bolt or yung plate, mga C-channels, mga tubular, ayan. So all of those kung paano natin ginagawa yung connection. So we will be discussing that. And then I think before tanda ko meron akong PDF na binigay sa akin before when that was 2012 pa. Pero maganda yung PDF na yun. Pero try kong i-locate kasi that is a PDF or para siyang ebook discussing best practices para sa detailing. So baka may mapulot kayo doon kapag tiningnan niyo. Hanapin ko muna class tapos pag nakita ko, I will be sharing it with you. And then next is structural members. Reinforced concrete structural members. Saan ba? Ito. So these are the concrete, location ng steel reinforcement, and layers of reinforcement, etc. Then, ano pa? I think yun lang. After that, yun, tapos na. So as you can see, konti lang yung topic. Ilan to? 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Kasi you will be maximizing your time in doing lecture or in doing plates. Okay? So expect that there would be times na we won't be having classes, pero I will be giving you things to work on. And then on the side, I will prepare, I think nasabi ko to sa BIM, similar with I will prepare a tutorial for softwares na pwede nyo magamit sa BIM tsaka sa detailing. Now, yun, antayin nyo na lang na ma-upload ko. Wino-workout ko pa lang siya ngayon. Pero on the side, nag-vote na ba kayo dun sa Facebook? AutoCAD. Sige. Yung iba, class vote nga muna kayo. Antay ako ng 2 minutes. Vote kayo ngayon sa Facebook. Tingnan ko para discuss ko kung ano yung gagawin natin kung CAD or Revit. Plus, pero ano ha, even though na if ever, kasi mukhang AutoCAD yung nakakalamang, even though that you will be selecting AutoCAD, it doesn't mean na hindi na ako mag-upload ng Revit. Mag-upload pa din ako. Pwede nyo pag-practicean para meron kayong guide. Then, yun. Pero sa AutoCAD, ay kailangan nyo pa ba ng, ng tutorial sa CAD? I-type nyo na nga lang dito sa chat natin sa Teams if in case do you need tutorial pa ba sa CAD. Probably Luella can answer, or tingin nyo sufficient na yung knowledge nyo sa CAD na naituro before. So, yun, type na lang if gusto nyo din gumawa ako ng recording, and then what topic do you want me to... Opo, sir. Sige, ano yung gusto nyo matutunan sa CAD na hindi na ituro sa inyo? You can turn on your mic para mas mabilis tayo makapag-usap. 3D? Okay. So, ano pa maliban sa 3D? Marunong kayo ng projection ng section? Hindi pa? Revit po, sir. Hindi po sa amin naturo. Okay. Pero I mean yung manual, kasi yung AutoCAD is somewhat manual yan, pero ginagawa mo lang sa computer. Parang same lang siya nung nagdo-drawing ka sa T-square. Yes, Luella, may sasabihin ka. Nag-turn on ka ng mic.
Pero meron naman din, nag-technical drafting naman din si classes.
Sorry. Paulit.
Nag-technical drafting naman po classes. Aside from the course book.
Sorry, di ko talaga ma-pick up. Type mo na nga lang ulit. So, pasensya ka na. Hindi ko medyo blurry yung audio. Yung iba po sa amin, nag-technical drafting din po sa TESDA. Okay, sige, yun. Kasi yung what I'm trying to say here is that pag sinabi mo kasing AutoCAD, equivalent lang din siya ng manual drafting. Yung gumagamit ka ng T-square and everything. Pero sa computer mo lang siya ginagawa. Pero it doesn't mean that you have it that you have it on tawag dito, that you have it sa AutoCAD, na siya, parang may model ka na. Kasi diba wala. Dahil 2D lang yon. Now, sige, since sinabi dito, 3D, sige, gagawa tayo ng separate tutorial. Siguro mga 5-minute, lang, quick turnaround lang paano mabilis gumawa ng ganito, ganyan. And then it's up to you on how are you going to utilize that doon sa gusto nyo gawin sa model nyo later on. Pero yon, sige, gawa na lang din ako ng kahit very brief sa CAD kung paano i-work out yung yung may kinalaman sa detail. And then tawag dito. And then yun, for the Revit again, so I will be posting tutorials, pero it's pero for the plate, so let's do it sa AutoCAD na lang. Now, yun nga, I asked the class nga last time kung sino yung may access sa computer. So mukha namang lahat, pero in our case, since majority of us knows or have it, I will be dividing the class into two. I will dividing the class in groups or group of 2, or do it yung natin, yung plate, para if ever na meron sa inyo isang wala talagang access sa computer, so mag-share na lang kayo doon sa output. Now, yun, it's up to you kung paano nyo i-work out yung plate, and then kung paano yung pinaka-the best way for you to create yung ating plate. Now, for this subject, I will be requiring you to look for a plan complete structural plan, kahit siguro samahan niyo na ng architectural, yung architectural na plan na yun, okay lang. Ano siya, let's discuss that mamaya. Pero more on, ang tingin ko pinakamaganda gawin dito is that yung mimic yung nasa PDF. Okay? Now, for you to further maximize the knowledge na to, ang kunin nyo yung PDF. Huwag kayong kumuha ng AutoCAD na. Kasi pag AutoCAD na, ipapasa nyo na lang sa akin yun. Eh. Well, pwede ko kayong mabigyan ng grade based doon sa AutoCAD na yun. Kaya lang, kung gusto nyo talagang matuto, you need to find yung PDF and then i-convert nyo na lang sa AutoCAD. So, ganun yung gagawin natin. Okay? And then as we do that, so I will be having explanations on what are the things na idinadagdag nyo na nandoon sa plan. Parang ano yung mga kinakad nyo from PDF to AutoCAD. So ano yon. So we will be discussing that. Okay? Kasi hindi ko naman kayo pwedeng sabihin na mag-design from scratch kasi una hindi kayo CE tsaka hindi kakayanin niyo na isang semester. Okay? Ayun. So, yun. Pinakita na natin yung syllabus. So, let's go with the course outline. Structural detailing. Ayan. So, ito nasabi na to kanina. Binasa na natin. And then, grading system. So, same with the BIM. So, we will be having 60-40, not 70-30. I already explained that reasons sa BIM. Kasi ayoko magbigay ng additional requirement or baka tumaas yung other other items dito sa or other requirements na baka mamaya mas mataas pa sila sa midterm or and final exam. Now, for the requirements, so same din. So we will be having at least 4 of everything, quizzes, work assignments, and okay? So, and then yun, major exams, midterm, and final exam. Now, for the assignment, siguro ang gawin natin dito is manual nyo siyang gawin. Okay? Manual nyo gagawin yung assignment, pero yung plate gawin nyo sa AutoCAD. Kasi wala namang ibang assignment dito na mag-research. So, hindi siya necessary. Ang mga assignment kong pwede nyo i-expect from me is that pagagawin ko kayo ng detail na, let's say, ng foundation. Yun. So, i-drawing nyo and then i-call out nyo what are the content. Okay? So, parang basically, you are just drawing whatever is in the plan na kasi searchable naman siya. Pero yun, and then later, we will be discussing what are the items na inilagay nyo sa assignment. Bakit siya nandun? And then, ano pa yung mga kulang. Okay? Ayan. Grading system, alam nyo naman yan. So, okay na tayo dito. Tapos classroom policies, same lang din doon sa BIM. So, skipan ko na. O, pati ito, alam nyo na rin yan. Okay, so puntahan na natin yung lecture natin. Introduction. May question pa ba? Wala na? Okay, sige. Let's go with the very brief intro. Teka nga, hanapin ko nga yung project ko isa. Teka lang. Wait lang. Hindi ko makita yung yung plano sanang gagamit kong example. Pero anyway, so yun, let's start with the introduction. So I already discussed this one. So punta tayo sa learning objectives. At the end of today's sessions, so you will be able to understand the concept of structural design analysis, analyze the application of structural design analysis and the construction process, then applying the different drafting and drawing equipment, methods, techniques, and to structural detailing. Double check. Talaga. Anyway, sige. Para di na muna kayo magantay. Now, for the concept of structural design analysis, ayan, let me read it first to you. So it is an engineering process of evaluating a structure's safety, strength, and stability under various loads and stress, including self-weight, wind, and seismic forces. Let me just bring out a MS Paint to drawing natin. Ayan. Sabihin natin, ulitin nga natin. Uy, yun, na-close. Ano ba yan? Sorry, class. Tapos ko na muna yung ibang mga hindi naman. Ayan. Okay. So, let me draw. Ngayon, let's say, meron bahay. Okay. Yan, sabihin natin, merong bahay. So, igawa lang muna ako na nakabox para mas maintindihan. Bahay. Tapos, may bubong. Ganyan. Tapos, may bubong. Ayan. Okay, ayan. Tapos, let's say, second floor siya. Ito yung second floor. Ayan. Okay. Now, sinabi dito kanina sa ating slide, that is, we evaluate the stability under various loads, including self-weight, wind, and seismic. So, a part of those, so meron kasi tayong tinatawag na dead load. Not sure if na-discuss sa inyo to sa other subject. Pero ito kasi na-introduce na sa, ako personally na-introduce sa amin to sa reinforced concrete design na. Yung may dead load, ibig sabihin, those are the weight na inilalagay mo sa structure na hindi gumagalaw. For example, ito yung dead load or yung various loads na yon is ina-apply siya at a certain locations ng structure. By the way, bago pa lang magsimula sa dead load, there are two types of loading sa isang structure. So we have the vertical loads, okay? And then horizontal loads or lateral loads. Okay, horizontal or lateral. Ibig sabihin, pag vertical, lahat ng forces niyan pababa. So meaning by gravity. So pag sinabi mong vertical, so by gravity siya. An example of that is dead load. So ano ba example ng dead load? For example, sa second floor, maglalagay ka ng mga furnitures. So yung dead load yun. Maglalagay ka ng mga tiles. So pag naglagay ka ng tiles, meron siyang bigat. So dead load yun. Tapos kunwari maglalagay ka pa ng ano pa ba? Mga cabinet, kama. So yun. So nasusundan nyo naman yung concept, di ba? So yun, those are an example of dead load. Now, another part of the dead load is the we consider yung MEPF. Okay? So take note, kunwari yung second floor, kunwari hindi bahay, so merong mga ductings, merong mga encasement for the sabihin natin for the communication lines or piping ng mga fire protection, plumbing sa sanitary and water line. Tapos ano pa? Yung mga air conditioning units, ganyan. So yung mga weight na yon, so you include that sa vertical loads. Then another then is yung wall load. So ito naman mga wall load, usually yan yung kunwari, ito yung biga dito sa side na to. Okay? So 'di ba meron tayong pader na CHB, yung hollow concrete, hollow blocks. So kapag meron ka diyang pader, so that is and then wall load. Ayun, so meron siya equivalent. So sinasama natin sa computation. And then meron din tayong part ng is the self weight. Self weight. So yung madi-decide yung mako-compute mong size for the design. So kunwari kung ang thickness ng slab or yung sahig na ginagawa mo sa second floor is let's say nasa 100 mm times yung area. So para makakuha ka ng volume. Again, kunwari may area ka ng floor times yung thickness na 100 mm. So, yun, makukuha mo yung volume times the unit weight of concrete na 24 kilonewton per cubic meter. So, ayan siya. Unit weight of concrete times thickness. So, you would be able to get the equivalent ng self weight. On the other hand, there's another one, yung tinatawag naman natin, ito hindi na siya dead load or any other loads na hindi gumagalaw. Ito yung mga gumagalaw na. That is the live load. So live load depends on what occupancy. Okay, nakadepende sa occupancy. Okay, hiyap mo na magsulat pagka mouse yan. Depende sa occupancy. Kapag residential, so merong certain floor pressure for that. I-convert mo lang para maging load. Then kapag kunwari hospital, school, so lahat ng structure na makikita natin yung iba't ibang factors ay parang value depende sa occupancy sa NSCP. Not sure kung naturo na rin sa inyo to, pero sa NSCP nakalagay dito ilan yung equivalent depende sa occupancy. Now, same goes with the other dead load. Kunwari, pag ang floor finish mo is ceramic tiles or vinyl tiles or planks, wood planks. So meron din siyang equivalent floor load nakalagay dito sa NCP. Ganon din yung wall load. Depende kung gaano kapal yung wall. Tapos, di ba yung CHB natin may butas sa gitna? Parang 3 ba yun? Minsan 2. So kung sisiksikin mo daw yan ng palaman lahat, so ano yung equivalent load niya, or kung sisiksikin mo lang, parang hindi masyadong compacted yung loob, meron siyang mga equivalent loads. So lahat ng mga loads na yun, values, can be found sa NSCP. Dito. Okay? Now, let's go with the horizontal or lateral loads. So ito naman, kung babalikan natin yung PDF natin, ay yung PowerPoint pala. So that is yung wind load and seismic forces. So kapag ka lumindol, di ba, ang movement is horizontal. Pag ano naman, hindi siya nakadepende sa gravity. So nandito yung earthquake, yung EQE, yung earthquake load. Okay? Ganun din sa wind load, ang bira niyan, horizontal din. Okay? So, nandito din yan sa kabila. Now, considering all of these class, so we would be able to start yung ating structural analysis. Okay? Yan. So, engineers use mathematical calculations and computer simulations to predict structures response, determine internal forces and stresses, and ensure it meets required performance standards and building codes. Now, yung ginagawa ng mga engineer na kapag may mga loading, tapos na-model na nila ano yung skeleton ng structure, hindi pa alam kung ano yung thickness ng mga sizes, ganyan, ng mga structural member. So with that, they can now calculate and then tutulungan ng computer or ng software yung engineer to come up with the size. I think maganda may papakita ko kaya yung sample ko dito kung paano ginagawa. Meron ako dito to personal. Teka, hanapin ko lang. Para makapagpakita ako ng example talaga ng ano. So, there's a software. Ang pangalan ay STAAD. Tingnan natin. Alam ko may license pa ako sa STAAD. Eto. So, class, bali sa modeling, we normally create yung parang skeleton muna. Tapos, later, we apply the loads. So, saan ba yung loads dito? General. Saan ba yung load ko? Ito ba yung load? Ito, yan, load. So, we have the earthquake, the dead load, the live load. So, ayan. So, ibig sabihin, yan yung mga loadings na nag-react or naka-applied na doon sa beam, kunwari, sa biga na nandito. Or ito. Yan. So, ayan. So, ngayon, with that load, so mag-run ng, mag-a-assume muna ng mga sizes for the property. And then, later on, kapag ito siya. So, mag-a-assign muna ng sizes. Now, kapag sufficient yung sizes na inilagay, so what will happen is, pwede siyang subukang paliitin. Kasi syempre, mas maganda, mas maliit. Kasi pag mas malaki, mas mahal yung structure, tsaka massive. Ngayon, kapag nakapag-come up ka na sa size na pumapasa na sa lahat ng calculation, tapos hindi mo na siya pwedeng liitan or pwedeng hindi nalakihan, so yun na yung magiging size na later on we will be applying sa ating sa ating model. Sa ating detailing. Okay? So, siguro naman class na visualize nyo kasi ano to, etong termination sa ilalim yung foundation, diyan nakalocate yung foundation. And then etong ano na to is ano parang tie beam. And then somewhere here yung first floor tas second floor tas bubong. Ito ano naman tong side na to, balcony. Ayan. Ayan siya. Now, tingnan nga natin. Ay, pati ito. Pakita ko lang yung analysis. Okay, so punta tayo sa output. Ito. Sa output, ayan. So, sa result, nakalagay dito, ayan. So, may nakalagay na bakal. Okay? So, parang ito yung section, ito yung long section, meaning ganito kahaba yung beam. Tapos, sa portion na to, ang cross section niya ganito, and so on and so forth. So, ganito yung pagkakalatag ng bakal at ganyan yung size. So, ito yung, as an engineer, ito yung i-relay natin sa detailer or sa drafter for them to come up with a plan showing all of this. So, ayun. Pero later, we will be doing naman yun. Pero hindi tayo gagamit ng software na to kasi kailangan tapos na kayo ng reinforced concrete design at least to model at yung ganitong software, ganitong klase. Pero sa Revit you can model, you can mimic kunwari kung ano yung ilang bakal yung nasa loob nito, pero wala siyang structural analysis, more on detailing lang talaga siya and presentation. Okay? Pero sa CAD pwede rin naman na natin yan gawin. Okay? Ayan. So, ayun. So, yun with applying all the loads na pinakita ko sa inyo kanina and all the um calculations. So, pwede na tayo mag-start ng drafting na yan. So the goal is to create a safe, functional, and efficient structure by integrating this analysis into the design process. So, yun, yun yung first step sa design. The next step, drafting na. Pero pag-usapan pa rin muna natin yung design analysis. So, the structural analysis, the process of determining how a structure will behave under applied loads, which includes calculating the internal forces. So, pag sinabi natin structural analysis, hindi pa natin sinusukat or di pa natin pino-formulate gaano kalaki yung poste, gaano kalaki yung biga. Pero ang ginagawa lang muna natin doon is we come up with the size ng mga beams, come up with the size of, sa analysis we come up with the loads na ma-experience ng beam, ano yung mga moment, ano yung mga strains, yung displacement or yung deflection na pwedeng maganap. So, kapag may analysis ka na, pwede ka na mag-start ng design. Sa design naman, you will be able to identify ano yung bilang ng bakal, ano yung concrete strength, ano yung dimension ng column, ng biga. So, yun. Yun yung yun naman yung next phase. Okay? Hindi ka makakapag-structural design if you don't have the structural analysis. Okay? And then, yun, with that, you work these two hand in hand. Hindi ka rin pwede mag-proceed ng structural analysis lang kasi computation lang to ng mga forces. Pero, again, kung wala nito, hindi to magwo-work. And then, kung wala naman ito, walang kwenta yung ginawa mo dito. First step, second step. Okay? So, another key aspect, so nasabi natin kanina yung loads. So, na-discuss ko na yan. And then, materials and geometry. For the materials, normally, we have at least 3 materials to use. So, we have timber, yung kahoy, na seldom nang ginagamit sa mga structures. Yung iba ginagamit yun sa mga lightweight houses, pero not on so calculations pa kasi ano na lang yun, light naman, so pwedeng yung mismong nagpapatayo na lang yung bahay, mag-decide kung saan tingin nila magandang ilagay yung mga poste, nagawa sa kahoy, mga flooring, etc. So another material is concrete. Yun yung common. Take note, ang concrete walang kwenta pag walang reinforcing bars. Yung rebar. Okay? So you don't use concrete sa structure, you use reinforced concrete. Take note ha, hindi concrete lang ang ginagamit sa isang structure, kundi reinforced concrete. Common mistake kasi yun na parang magsabi, ay, ano, yung building na yan gawa sa concrete. No, hindi siya gawa sa concrete lang. Gawa siya sa reinforced concrete kasi without steel, hindi siya tatayo. Okay? Kasi ang concrete is known for compression, pero weak siya sa tension. Si steel naman, known siya sa tension, weak siya sa compression. So by combining those two, ma-eliminate ng one over the other yung weakness nung one over the other. Kung weak yung concrete sa tension, strong naman yung steel sa tension. Kung weak yung steel sa compression, strong yung concrete sa compression. So they work hand in hand. Okay? And then another one is the steel for the material. So yan na yung mga nakikita nating ginagamit sa mga purlins, sa mga sa mga poste or biga na gawa sa white flanges sa steel. Meron ding mga angle bar, merong mga C-channel, merong mga tubular. So yun. So yun yung mga materials na pwede natin gamitin. And then for the geometry, yun sa steel, nasabi ko na white flange, angle, etc. And so on. So yun, yung mga C-channels. Sa concrete, normally dalawa lang yan. Rectangular tsaka circular. Pero yung pagka-beam, normally rectangular. Tapos kapag column can be rectangular or circular. So depende kung ano yung kailangan. Then sa timber, normally ganun din, rectangular or circular. Depende kung tatabasin mo yung kahoy mula sa puno, so magiging rectangular. Kung hindi naman at gusto mong gamitin poste yung mismong puno, okay lang yun, edi circular. Ayun. Then yun. Part of the process, ito I think nasabi na natin kanina, i-model mo muna yung parang skeleton, ilalagay mo yung load, tapos mag-run ka ng analysis. Tapos yan, pwede ka na mag-design later on. Ayan, pwede ka mag-design. Tapos pag natapos mo yung first four step, etong first step, second, and third, kay ano ito, kay engineer to, kay designer, pati itong structural design. Once na okay na yung detailing, tsaka na yan ipapasa sa mga detailers. Ayun. Kasi pwede naman din si engineer mag-detail, kaya lang time consuming, pwede naman siya mag-design ng iba. So kay detailer na siya ibibigay. So yun yung gagawin nyo. Then, ano bang importance ng structural design analysis? So the reason why we do this is, of course, first is the safety. It ensures structures are safe for users and can withstand expected forces without failure. Okay? Although pwede namang kumbaga mata-matahin na lang na sige, ito yung size, ito yung size. Kaya lang hindi natin alam scientifically or ano kung pasado ba yon. So with the calculations and everything, with the analysis, so it would somehow expect yung mga forces na mga pwede natin i-consider sa isang structure. Also, it makes efficient the structure. It helps engineer to create a cost-effective and optimized structure. So tulad na sabi ko sa inyo kanina, di ba? Kapag nag-nominate ka ng mga sizes, kapag kabagsak, palalakihin mo lang yon. Kapag kapasado, tatry mo siyang paliitin. So parang trial and error pag nag-run ka ng analysis. Ganon din naman kapag mano-mano yung design. Before kasi, hindi pa ganun kauso yung software, pwede namang mano-mano yung calculation ng mga sizes. So ganun din, magno-nominate ka muna kapag pasado, edi okay, pwede ka mag-reduce ng size. Pag hindi, ay pagka pwede siyang i-reduce, so pwede i-reduce pagka bagsak kagad, kailangan mo lang lakihan yung member. So ayun, it makes you cost effective kasi alam mo kung ano yung smallest size required doon sa structure mo. Then it makes our project compliance doon sa mga building codes. or sa any other standards, particularly with the NSCP, the National Structural Code of the Philippines. Then next is reliability. It provides confidence that the structure will perform as intended throughout its service life. Okay? Then eto, sa detailing process, eto na. Ngayon, bakit importante yung detailing in the construction process? The reason why is that so that, and sabi dito, uh, structural detailing in construction is the process of translating conceptual engineering design into detailed fabrication-ready drawings and specification for structural elements like beams, columns, and connections. So kailangan lahat nung dinesign ni engineer, may translate natin sa detail. Kasi ipapabricate yun. Iko-construct na yun on site. So without that, it would be hard again for the construction team to visualize ano ba yung gustong mangyari ng design engineer. Take note, yung mga nasa contractor, hindi sila pwedeng masunod kung ano dapat gawin sa structure. Lagi nilang hinihingi yung approval ng designer kasi without that, hindi sila sumunod sa plan. So baka ma-compromise yung structure. So kunwari, ang nakalagay sa structure is 300 by 300 mm na poste. Pero ang gusto ni engineer sa site gawing 250 by 250 kasi madami na siyang nagawang ganong structure. So pag hindi inaprobahan ni designer yon at nag-collapse yung structure later on, ang liable doon yung contractor. On the other hand, kapag inapprove naman yung changes or sabihin natin 300 by 300 pa din pero nag-collapse pa din, ang liable doon yung designer. Kaya importante yung detailing kasi sinusunod yan ng mga nasa site. Without that, it would be very hard for them to understand what is the intention of the design team. It also provides precise dimension, as I've said, material specs, connection types, and assembly instruction, serving as a crucial guide for fabricators, ayan na nga, and contractors to ensure that the structure is built safely, accurately, etong importante, and to the exact design intent. Okay? Hindi mananalo ang contractor sa gusto ni designer. Okay? Kasi ang nakasalalay diyan yung pirma naman ni designer doon sa dinesign niya. Ngayon, any alterations done, kasalanan ngayon yon ng contractor. This process ensures code compliance, again, facilitates communication among architects, engineers, and builders, and transform abstract design into tangible and buildable reality. Okay, for my last slide, so ito lang naman yung mga techniques. So I won't further deal with this one. Probably later na lang pagka gumawa na tayo ng actual. So pagka manual, so familiar naman kayo dito. Ito yung technical drawing talaga na manual. So T-square, triangle, stack bed, mechanical pencil, etc. So compass, divider. So yan yung mga ginagamit natin sa manual drafting. Now, as time progress, meron tayong tinatawag na CAD or the computer-aided drafting. So, kumbaga, yung dinodrawing mo, sa computer mo na siya ginagawa. On the other hand, dati yung design is mano-mano. Ngayon, gumagawa na ng model. May 3D na yung model. Tapos minsan, ginagawa mo na din ng 3D model for BIM. Yung separate subject yon, di ba? BIM. So, with the CAD modeling, it is a computer-aided design naman this time. Modeling. Kasi you use the computer for design to model. Okay? Yeah. I hope, yun, class, clear siya that what is the importance of the detailing. So, kung babalikan natin yung learning objective, so it is expected for us again a concept of structural design analysis, application of structural design analysis in construction process, And yun, yung different drafting and drawing equipment, methods, techniques to structural detailing. Okay, so next meeting, so we will be discussing next meeting, so we will be discussing ito, saan na ba yun? Ito, detailing drawings. Ayan. So ano lang naman to, actually itong module natin is just ano lang siya, discussion lang ng ano. Actually ito yung hinahanap ko, so PDF, kulay orange yung text nun. Hanapin ko PDF nito. Nanggaling to sa ano sa detailing ebook. Hanapin ko talaga siya. Actually maganda siyang gamitin. So, etong module natin is just defining everything, pero hindi nyo ma-absorb fully to kung hindi natin siya gagawin ng actual. So again, on next meeting, so we will be discussing this, and then we will be having I will be sharing yung mga example projects ko para makita nyo or paano binabasa. Tuturuan ko muna kayo paano magbasa ng ng plano, paano nire-relate yung detail sa plan para later on when you create your own, so alam nyo na teka, parang magkaiba to. May detail ka nga, may plan ka, pero hindi sila tugma. So yun, kahit kayo, kaya nyo siyang basahin. Alright? Any question, class? Yun. Actually, pabilis lang yung lesson eh. Mas more magtatagal kayo later on sa subject natin with the with the actual work. Teka lang. Stop ko na muna yung recording.